What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with another review for College Hill, the Celebrity Edition, Season 2, Episode 3. The episode is titled Work Hard and Party Hard, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss College Hill Celebrity Edition, shall we? So this episode, they're taking a field trip, right? So they're going to be going to the Equal Justice Initiative Legacy Museum, right? So everyone wakes up for the field trip. Everyone notices that Ray is gone. And, they are like, oh my God, Ray is not here. And, Ray said he wanted to finish the program, unlike, what he did last season, right? And if you guys watched last week's episode reviews, I said I didn't watch season 1. So I don't know what Ray did in season 1, but it looked like he's repeating what he did, right? Now, I will say one thing about Ray J, because you noticed at the end of last week's episode, Ray J said he was going to Atlanta, but when he came back, he said he came back from LA, but we'll get to that in just a little bit, right? So, remember, also on last week's episode 2, that Jocelyn and Amber and Tiffany, they made up with each other when they went out for that night, right? But Parker had not had a conversation with Jocelyn. So Parker decided to pull Jocelyn to the side. And it was what I thought about Parker. I knew that Parker didn't want to ruffle Jocelyn's feathers because I figured Parker probably has saw the antics of Jocelyn on Love and Hip Hop and probably Jocelyn's Cabaret. So she didn't want to necessarily, get into a knockdown, drag out tussle with Jocelyn. I'm not saying that Parker can't fight, but I don't think Parker wanted to go that route with her, right? So Parker pulled Jocelyn to the side and, they had a conversation with one another. So Jocelyn apologized to Parker for calling her a fake ass bitch. I was like, did she really mean that? But I mean, I do believe Jocelyn was sincere in the moment. I actually do. I honestly believe that Jocelyn was sincere when she apologized to Parker, right? But then she told Parker that you should have came up to me and told me how you felt. I was like, girl, she was outside of that door knocking. It's PP. It's PP. I think Parker said she was outside that door for what, 2 hours? So for Jocelyn to say that Parker should have come to her and had the conversation with her, it's like, ma'am, stop playing with me at this point. Like, girl, miss me with the BULLSHIT, right? But Jocelyn and Parker, they moved forward with one another, right? So we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward. So they make it to the Equal Justice Initiative Legacy Museum, right? So the professors want them to, split up into pairs, right? And they want them to, so they're going to give them a presentation on 4 things, right? And it's going to be slavery, segregation, lynching, and mass incarceration. And they're going to present it to Dr. Robinson, right? So they went in without any cameras. So once they went inside, we see the little statues. We see, I don't know, and I don't necessarily know if this is from the museum, but we just hear them giving their narrations about what they saw. And, just thinking about a lot of things from slavery on down to Jim Crow, segregation and all that stuff. We're not that far, and, thinking about segregation, we're not that far removed from segregation when you just literally sit and think about it. Like, my mom was born in that time period. So my mom had told me stories about what it was like to, deal with the colored water fountains. She went to the high school that she went to in my hometown. It's no longer there, but it was called Emmett Scott. It was the only school for black people, right? So everybody older in my all the older people in my family, all of them went to that same school. Everybody in my family went to Emmett Scott. But it's like now of my mom's siblings and my grandmother's siblings. Even my grandmother and her siblings went there. My mom, her siblings went there, minus my mom's younger siblings, right? But yeah, it was a school just for black people, right? So when you just think about that stuff, we are not that far removed from slavery. We're not that far removed from segregation. And I remember I went so my I think it was my middle school that I went to. The middle school that I went to, we definitely, for Black History, we definitely watched the movies about Black history and to just see the things that black people went through, right? How when they would be marching and protesting, they would get hit with, they would take the water hose and hit them with that, and just the mistreatment of black people. And Iman made a very, very good point when he talked about you think that when you think back to slavery, you would think that they were doing that because they hated black people. But when you think about those black people that were out there in the field picking the cotton, it wasn't because of hatred. It was a business move. It was all about business for the white people back in the day. And it's also very, very interesting when you think about the fact that in today's climate, these Republicans don't want their children to learn about the things that happened in the past. If you don't teach it, it's liable to happen again, right? And no one is saying, like they want to say, oh, but our kids, we and our kids didn't do that stuff to you guys, but your ancestors did. And we need to teach about that stuff in order to never have it happen once ever again, right? So yeah, I actually like this, you guys. I actually do want to. I wish if I go to Clark, that is one thing that if I get into Clark for graduate school, that is one thing that I do want to do is just take an African American studies class. I want to learn a little bit more about African American history. It's very fascinating to me. But yeah, I want you guys to tell me what you guys think down in the comments below about that. And we're going to go ahead and just pause here and move forward, you guys. So, you guys, Iman, he finally returned. And, they decide that they're going to play a joke on him, right? So, so if you guys, we saw in the trailer when Jocelyn threw the water on Quay, that was part of this joke, right? So, so when they got back, they said that, if anybody leaves the house for any period of time and they come back, we're going to prank them as basically just, hey, like saying, hey, you done missed out. So, the thing was, remember, tension was high when Iman left. And so he came back. And so they were going to pretend like Jocelyn had an issue with Quay and she was going to go upstairs and douse the water on him, right? So Jocelyn did go upstairs and Quay was talking to her. He was like, I don't think she should be in here. And so Jocelyn hit him with the water, right? And Quay hopped up and Iman was like, no, 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 no. And Jocelyn was like, no, let him go. He's like, no, I can't let that happen. And she's like, let him go. It's a joke. He's like, he ain't in on it. She was like, yes, he is. And so they hugged each other. It is going to be so interesting to see how we jumped from where they are currently, because you guys know everybody's made amends with each other. Jocelyn's cool with Amber. Jocelyn is cool with Tiffany, right? So it's going to be so interesting to see how we got to that point where Jocelyn and Amber are going to fight, because that very much so looked real. That looked real. But yeah, they played it off, right? So Ray texted Amber about missing some stuff in class, right? So Amber kind of got him hip to what's going on in class. And then, Jocelyn was like, hey, we need to play a prank on Ray. Like, tell Ray that, me and PP got into a fight with each other. And so that's what they did. So they told Ray that, Parker and Jocelyn had got into a fight with one another. And they were like, oh my God. They were like, yeah, the medics had to come and get Parker. And so, I'm recording a video. All of him, huh? My bad, you guys. My cousin came up to the car and messing with me. But yeah. So back to this. So Ray asked Amber who won the fight. I was like, you asked who won the fight, as opposed to if Parker is okay. And Amber's like, I don't know who won the fight. So we see as Tiff, Quay, and Parker, right? They're going to their first day of Spirit Squad. So they're getting ready for the Magic City Classic. Now, I've never heard of that. Only classic that I know of is the one that's here in Texas, the State Fair Classic of Dallas, which is between Grambling and PV. That's the only classic that I know. So Ray finally returned, right? And it's Amber's birthday. So they go to class, and I gotta be honest with you guys. So in this particular scene, Ray really did piss me off. I get that Ray has been acting since he was a kid, right? But you don't know everything. You can always stand to learn something new, and that was what was frustrating me when it came down to Ray. Ray was just in it. No, Ray also was high as fuck too. He said he was sleepy, but he was high as hell too, because the professor was like, "Take off your sunglasses, Mr. Norwood." So they went to all their classes, right? They went to a French class. Actually, no, that was before that. So that was the day before. So they left that class, the acting class. They went back home. It's Amber's birthday, right? So they decided to celebrate Amber's birthday. And they turned up, Jocelyn got some penis from her husband, Ballistic. And the next morning, they getting ready for class. Everybody is getting ready for class with the exception of Tiff, Jocelyn, and who else? Tiff, Jocelyn, and Ray. So they not going to class. And, they go to class and everybody's asking, where's Ray? Where's Tiff? Where is, well, actually, Willie Norwood. Where's Willie? Where's Tiffany? Where is Jocelyn? Don't know about, they didn't really say, they didn't really say where they were, right? They were like, oh, they weren't really feeling too good, right? But shit, I'll tell you somebody who wasn't feeling them, what they were saying, Dr. Petty. Baby, Dr. Petty lived up to her name, Petty, right? So you guys remember in the first episode that Dr. Petty wanted them to remember the stanzas to the I guess the fight. I don't know if it's the fight song or whatever it was, right? So they had to get up and they presented it. And you guys know Amber's an atheist, so she doesn't believe in God, so she didn't do it. But whatever it was that she was supposed to do, she didn't completely do it. So Dr. Petty gave her a little bit of time to do that. And Dr. Petty Dr. Petty also asked where were the others, right? And they were like, they weren't really feeling good, right? So they went home. And Dr. Petty said, okay, I'm going to live up to my name. Dr. Petty pulled up on them and that's where the episode ended. I was like, oh, I like Dr. Petty. I fucks with Dr. Petty, you guys. But that's all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below, you guys. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications. Share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one.